Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. All right, friends, it is April 22nd, 2020, and I just want to talk about trusting God. Trusting God. I was asking myself, how can we get to a place where we fully trust God? I know in my life I've over and over again. There's some things where on one hand I feel like I fully trust God, but then on another hand I find myself doubting or wondering or even having some type of fear. And I'm like, well, how can we get to a place where we just fully just trust God and His plan and what He wants to do? Because at the end of the day, having that worry and fear and stress and all that stuff, it doesn't help or benefit anything. I guess other than to share the testimony of when God brings you out. But other than that, it's like, just going through those moments of doubt and fear. It's like, it's discouraging. It's I don't know about you guys, but I know that sometimes I tend to beat myself up about choices and just all these things. And it's like, at the end of the day, just trusting God would just eliminate majority of that, So I was, asking myself, how can we get to a place where we can fully trust God? And what does that look like? And, so basically, hopefully I can encourage us all with that today. And so let's get into it. So, first thing I thought of is that, we can read the Word. I believe that the more familiar we are with the Bible and things that it says and what it's sharing with us and listening to what God has to say through His Word would help us to, build that faith in God and in His will. I mean, at the end of the day, for example, Hebrews 11, even if we just touch on that particular I say chapter, but if we touch on Hebrews 11, even from the beginning verse, throughout the entire thing, it gives all these different examples of, what God does when people have faith. And, I was going to write all the verses down, but like I said, throughout the entire verse there, it has example after example after example. And, if you're reading that, and allowing that to encourage you to understand that, okay, this is what God did for this person. This is what God did for this person. And then really, really think about, okay, and this is what God has done for me in my life. Believe that the more we read the Word, the more that our faith will build. And that will ultimately help us to trust more in God. Another thing, let's see. Reminding ourselves, there's no need to fear. I mean, we can take a good look at 2 Chronicles 20, 1 through 37. You can take some time and read that. And, and actually go deeper. That's the way to go deeper into reading the Word and to really asking yourself different questions about how you handle situations and things like that. And you can actually follow a guide that's on calm.org. And it's called When You Trust God, There Is No Need to Fear. So if we put that into our spirits, then, I believe that will help us to build our faith and, trust God a little bit more. Next, I think that, something important that to help us in this situation will be to P and P. Yes, P and P. And I am referring to pray and praise. I believe that that's one, both of those are examples of when we are going through things or when we do have those doubts and fears. That's probably the thing that helps us stand out as Christians or believers is to pray and praise through situations. It's basically a great example of our faith, and it shows instead of doubt or instead of allowing fear to overcome or take me over. I'm going to pray. I'm going to praise. I'm going to believe that God is doing something in my life. And I feel like, those are two clear indications of, where your faith lies. And so, because if you're able to pray and praise through situations rather than, doubt, fear, and, beat yourself up or whatever the case is, to me, now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a clear indication of, again, where your faith lies. So that's something that can help build up our faith, people. Yes, indeedy. Psalms 118:6, that just reminds us that the Lord is on our side. It says here, the Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me? So when we come into, when we think about our situations and everything like that, it's like, at the end of the day, like, the things here on earth or the people that we're dealing with and everything like that, like, what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really think about that, God is bigger than all of that. Again, it's just building that faith and building the trust that, hey, he has the plan. He got the will. Like, I need to just focus on that versus just focusing on maybe the situation that's in front of us or something like that. So that just another little reminder. Check that out at your own time and your own leisure. God will bring that back to your remembrance next time you're in a situation. But with that being said, I'm reminded to, only fear God. In Luke 12:5, Jesus told us, he said, but I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. So that's even going to the biggest fear that I feel like maybe on earth is dying, right? Or maybe even being killed or something like that. When you think about that, even after that now this may be deep for somebody, so man, you might not, this may be deep for you, but if you really think about the fact that probably one of the worst things that could happen to you is to be killed, right? That person still, even though they took your life, don't have, as they say, a heaven or hell to put you in. You know what I'm saying? So even still, maybe that's deep, but like Jesus said here, fear him which after he have killed have power to cast into hell. Like, this is the only one we should be fearing right now, so when it comes to that, putting your trust in him and everything, this just came to me, so hey, I'm sharing it. Basically, what just came to me is that, so we're to fear him, right? Because he has that power to cast it into hell and all that, which no man does. So, but the thing about God is that he gives us life, and as they say, life more abundantly. Like, that's his whole thing, to give us life. And to know that the one that has the power to really, really go beyond death, go beyond just killing, the one that has the power to cast into hell and all that, is giving us life. How much more can we believe in or put our trust in him, that he has our best interests at heart? Like, that just came to me. I ain't got too much more to say about it, but it's just like, I guess when you put it all into perspective, like, Jesus said, this is who you should fear, the one that has this power. And then when you go deeper and think about, he has that power, but he chooses to give us life and blessings, and man, I'm gonna let that marinate. Y'all let that marinate on your own. So, to keep going with that, remember that he is with us. As they say, he is for us. There's plenty of verses and everything like that in regards to God being with us. One of the probably well known. I didn't write it down, unfortunately, so I apologize about that. But the one about walking through the valley. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, it comforts me. He prepareth a table before me. Okay, let me stop. But you know what I'm talking about, y'all. God is with us. And, just remembering that hopefully builds our faith and to trust in Him. Remember, He's not leaving us alone. He's right there, Let's keep going because we can just expound on that. I guess, and ultimately putting God's will above our own. How much more can you trust in God when you just go ahead and just put His will above your own? Probably, of course, the best example of that is in Luke 22:42. Jesus Himself, said to God, not my will, but thine be done. At the end of the day, it's like, even those things that you don't understand, like that's where I feel like, with me personally, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm perfect with it, but I've gotten a little bit better about just recognizing the things that are coming my way that may cause doubt and may cause fear and may cause frustration and all those things. I think I'm getting a little bit better recognizing those things, and then just ultimately trusting that God has a plan. Like, even in spite of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm going through, in spite of whatever circumstances, I understand that God has me. He got my back. He's in this. He's with me. And I have nothing to fear or worry about. Now, again, like, even yesterday, now, I don't mean to get so deep, but basically, I'm just sharing with y'all. I'm just trying to be an open book, open vessel. But like, even yesterday, I was getting ready to, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was doing my routine, doing this, getting ready to do the juice for y'all. And I'm just feeling like, I don't know if it was doubt. I don't know if it was fear. It just was a feeling where it was like, is there a point to this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm doing this. I wasn't regretting it, but it just was like that thing in the back of your mind, like, I don't know. Like, I just was feeling iffy about everything. And then, like, right when I was getting ready to, so I go through this whole process, y'all. I explained it all in episode 1, what I'm doing. And I share it every day on Facebook. So if you guys, so you know what I'm talking about. Basically, I go through a morning routine now. I wake up at 4. I get up, I do a warm up, I do a stretch, I pray and meditate, and then I record this for y'all. So basically, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do every day with this, at least as of right now. And so, with that being said, like, I was in that process, and I think I was just about to get ready to, and I post in the middle of each thing too. Like, I'll share and say, just stretched, or hey, just share this, whatever, you know what I mean? So basically, I was getting ready to, I think I was posting that I just prayed and meditated. And here I come, I see one of the gentlemen that actually are going to be featured today in the male perspective. We're going to have a post of that today at noon. So just in case anybody's listening to this exactly on the day of, today at noon, we're going to post the male perspective. So one of the gentlemen was posting information, letting people know that he was part of it. And that just kind of reminded me, like, you know what, Lord, I see what you're doing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, even I might got my doubts, I might have my fears, I might have my, what is the point of all this? But here it is, like, the things that happen to us, I feel like at the end of the day, it's really for other people, And so to see that here's this gentleman that's been blessed by the little choice and thing that came my way to do this podcast, just a few weeks ago. And he's blessed by it, and, hopefully it blesses you to listen. And, it just shows that, God's plan is bigger than we can understand. It's better than we can ever create. And there's no need to doubt, fear, or anything when it comes to that. We need to just trust that He is in control and that His will is greater than ours. You know what I'm saying? So I won't keep going on that, friends. Just a reminder again, Colossians 17 and 18. I'm just going to paraphrase it a bit. Paul tells the Colossians, he tells them, remember my chains, when he was writing to them. So, and ultimately, that's just reminding us, don't give up. And, no matter what things look like, don't give up. Keep going. Believe. Trust that God has His plan and has it all in control. I had an even bigger example of that happen yesterday as well, but I'm gonna get into that. But basically, I just know over and over in my life, I've gotten to the place now where when something comes my way, like, I might be going through it, or I might be doubting, or I might be like, Lord, man, golly, this don't make no sense. But at the end of the day, I have to just trust. I have to be like, all right, well, Lord, this don't make no sense, but hey, obviously you doing something. And then I just go with it. And then long story short, like, lo and behold, here He is, another blessing. Or, another thing, I know it may be hard to see the miracles that God do for us these days, but, that's it. Like, that's getting you out of every situation, every time, or whatever the case is. Those are all the blessings. Those are all the miracles. And we just need to recognize that and understand that God is in control, right? Well, anyway, friends, let's get into the Bible verse of the day. So the Bible verse of the day is Psalms 2:24, 1 and 2. It says, the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. For He hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Well, friends, I hope that you are encouraged and inspired to go ahead and trust God on today. Thank you so much for listening to The Juice, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.